In late 1919, famous players agreed to produce and release feature films with Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle. At the time, Arbuckle was starring in a series of two-reel shorts, produced by Joseph M. Schenck and co-starring Arbuckle's nephew, Al St. John, and a relative newcomer, Buster Keaton. Schenck wanted to continue producing shorts in Arbuckle's absence, and so he promoted Keaton to the rank of headliner, signing him to star in 8 two-reelers a year. Fatty's nimble sidekick was about to take center stage. Once Keaton was under contract, Schenck immediately loaned him out to Metro Pictures to play the lead in the feature film The Saphead, and hopefully begin cultivating a star persona. But in the 4 weeks before production was due to begin, Keaton decided to crank out his first two-reeler as star and director, The High Sign. Though it is not typically ranked among Keaton's finest work, The High Sign is historically and artistically significant, capturing Keaton mid-stride in his transition from supporting player to star, and revealing his gift for inventive visual comedy, just as it was beginning to flower. In many ways, The High Sign is like an Arbuckle film, without Arbuckle. It co-stars Al St. John, playing his usual hayseed character. The dog is reminiscent of Luke the dog, which appeared in several Arbuckle comedies. And, once again, Keaton had an oversized foil, Ingram Pickett. Even though it recycled some of the old formulas, The High Sign broke new ground and hinted at greater things to come, especially as Keaton struggles against the forces of the modern age. He first enters the screen tumbling out of a passing train, then wrestles with an untrimmed sheet of newsprint. Keaton is not being beaten by the people of the industrialized world, but, more humiliatingly, by its products. To get a job in a shooting gallery, he constructs a Rube Goldberg device that rings the target bell when he wildly blasts away. When Keaton begins to embrace technology, however primitive, he is able to stumble into a more privileged place in society. A bodyguard for the miserly Mr. Nickel-Nurser. French philosopher Georges Deleuze wrote that Keaton had a, quote, dream of taking the biggest machine in the world and making it work with the tiniest elements, thus converting it for the use of each one of us, making it the property of everyone. Deleuze uses an example from the end of The Blacksmith, when a real train is replaced by a toy set, which Keaton impetuously crashes. Keaton's characters master their environments through this kind of play, which manages to humble the previously intractable modern world. In The High Sign, Keaton finally asserts control over the violent mechanical environment in a tour de force closer, set in Nickel-Nurser's labyrinthine home. During this raucous sequence, constructed with the help of technical director Fred Gaboury and co-directed with Eddie Klein, Keaton takes control of his body and the space around him. Using a set that is a cross-section of the house, so all 4 rooms are visible at once, Keaton engages in an uninterrupted series of expert tumbles, up and through the trapdoors of all 4 rooms. The long shot makes Nickel-Nurser's home look like a dollhouse opened to a live viewer. Another instance of Keaton shrinking the world to control it, morphing this bourgeois home into a laboratory of non-stop pratfalls. According to Keaton biographer Edward McPherson, the actor was disappointed with the film because of an excess of puns and, quote, reality-defying gags. So visual jokes, like the one where he draws a hook on the wall to hang his hat, must have seemed cheap and artificial to him. His lack of interest in cheap gags is also evidenced in the banana peel scene. where the viewer is led to believe that Keaton will step on the discarded peel. But he never does. Rumor has it that in some versions of the film, Keaton comes back around the corner and eventually slips on the peel. But that scene was not found in any of the 6 film elements examined during the preparation of this master, including an original 35mm nitrate print at the Library of Congress. Right away, Keaton recognized the unsatisfying hybrid nature of the high sign, with one foot in conventional slapstick and the other in some new comic territory yet to be defined. Rather than begin his career on such a tentative note, Keaton decided to shelve the high sign indefinitely and went to Metro to shoot the Saphead. Upon his return, he started fresh. He made a 2-reel short that would be a more triumphant starring debut, one that would exploit his blossoming gift for mechanical comedy to the fullest. 1 week. The high sign might never have been released, but fate intervened in 1922, when Keaton broke his ankle on the set of The Electric House. In order to fulfill his contractual obligations, he needed to provide Skank with a 2-reel short, so the high sign was taken from the shelf and put into release. Audiences are lucky for Keaton's bad break, because for all its narrative acrobatics, it proves that Keaton's persona was already emerging in 1920, encapsulated in its introductory intertitle. He's the alienated modern man, without a home, making life bearable through comedy.